A look now at tomorrow night's viewing on BBC1, where the evening gets underway with an invitation to Carry On Screaming at 5 to 7. All our old Carry On friends in the least frightening horror movie you'll ever see. At 8:30, however, the fear is real enough. The fear of failing, as experienced by at least one would-be young fighter pilot. After the news, Sports Night at 9:25 features the best of the action from tonight's boxing at the Royal Albert Hall. That's a bill which includes Charlie Magri and Clinton McKenzie sharing the limelight against opponents from Mexico and Spain. That's followed at 10:15 by a visit to the pleasure capital of the USA, Las Vegas, the Nevada hotspot, which is this year celebrating its 75th birthday. Well, among those offering their congratulations are Liberace, Tony Bennett, Neil Sedaka and Anthony Newley. And finally, tomorrow at 10:50, we'll be joining Michael Parkinson, who in turn is joined by his midweek guests Meryl Streep, Chris Bonington and Ronnie Barker. That's all on BBC1 tomorrow. Tonight, though, the last thing we have for you is the weather from Jack Scott.
Good evening to you. Well, these cold northwesterlies came along as expected. The chart is changing a little bit now, mind you. The northwesterlies are slipping away, although they'll still be there over the northern part of the country tomorrow. That high pressure is pushing in a little bit, and this front here in the south is figuring just a bit too. That's going to sneak across the channel over the next 24 hours, giving a little rain in some most southern parts. So a look at tomorrow's chart for noon shows that the ridge has pushed in, that high pressure to the west there. Northwesterlies, as I said, still being maintained in northern parts, and the front just to the south of us, possibly by then carrying a little rain into the channel area. But tonight's weather is the main feature on the forecast because there's a good deal of frost around. I think most places can expect a frost, a very slight frost tonight, but nevertheless, if you've got something that you need to protect from frost, now is the time to do it if you haven't already done so. Still some showers about in northern Scotland and western Scotland there, and some of those of snow. It is that cold. And then tomorrow, well, the north of Scotland and the west of Scotland are still going to have a fair number of showers around, and again, some of those that get up over the mountains will be of snow. And in that particular area, still quite a fresh northwesterly wind, a cold northwesterly wind, so the weather isn't going to change very much in the northern part of Scotland. But most other places, it will change at least a little bit. Down the Irish Sea here, you'll see one or two showers, but not so many as you saw today. And the wind easing off a bit, and therefore the wind not quite as keen. It'll not feel quite as cold. Over the middle part of England, starting off like it did today, fairly sunny. It may not be quite as sunny by the end of the day, with a veil of cloud coming over, and quite cloudy along the channel here, with some rain in the Channel Islands and possibly in some other southern coastal areas. And the outlook beyond that, well, getting a little warmer in the south, less cold anyway, but some rain about in the north, cold and fine. Good night.
So good night from Jack, and very nearly good night from us too, except that before we go, it's our bounden duty to offer you Radio 2's nightly invitation to turn off your television set and switch on the wireless, where you'll find tonight that new magazine programme, 2's Company, at 2 o'clock. Tonight that includes another chance to hear Walter's Weekly, Radio 1's wide-ranging survey of the arts, leisure and entertainment under the guidance of John Walters. And from Radio 4, there's Anthony Smith with another of his sideways looks. Well, a sideways look at the clock reveals that it's just after 10 past midnight. Time for us to wish you a safe and peaceful night from BBC Television. Good night.